All right, last but definitely not least, they have prepared up here, and this is going to be the, can I use the word climax? We just talked about some other metaphor that went off. Really, okay. Nicolette and Jesse Basham. Singer-songwriter Nicolette and instrumentalist Jesse met where most musicians meet, Craigslist. Is that right? Oh, wow. Dude. Jesse responded to a guitarist wanted, in quotes, ad in 2010. Since then, they have recorded and co-written songs for an album called Monarch. They've toured throughout Texas. They've appeared in a docu-reality TV show called Troubadour, Texas. You might have seen that. That's on public TV. While their music fits most in the folk American realm, it's their mutually eclectic musical influences that brought them together and informs their music. Please welcome Nicolette and Jesse.
As musicians, technical difficulties is kind of our shtick. I will say that I did meet Jesse on Craigslist, and he was the first and only person that responded in complete sentences, and I said, that's my guy. Well, we're going to tell you a little bit about an album called Monarch that we released last year. And a little bit about the songwriting, the arranging, and the recording of it. It's a collection of storytelling songs full of characters kind of struggling with their own power struggles. Sometimes they're the person in power, and sometimes not. The title track talks about this kind of unclear relationship between the artist and the audience. And in this case, the patron claims to be a king, but he's actually a pauper, and he demands a very strange song.
Cello, pedal steel, and banjo. The end result is kind of like a hillbilly funeral march, if you will.
The singer's talking about her uncertainty about her relationship with the artist, and as it's happening, the song itself kind of mixes in between the major and the minor scales. And if you don't know what that means, well, that's why I get paid tens and tens of folk dollars and you don't. So one thing that I do when I have a little bit of writer's block is I'll take a traditional children's song and kind of like play with it and turn it on its head and make it totally inappropriate for children. And this has also taught me a lot about copyright law.
This next song is purely from the public domain. Pretty Clementine is based on the traditional song, Oh My Darling Clementine. But we added electric guitar, put it in a minor key, and even added the sound of a chain dropping on plywood to give off the sound effect of a working gold mine.
Daffodils wrapped in clover and
guitar with a snare drum attached to it. It's not the same thing. When it came time to play the CD release show, I had to borrow a real banjo, which means I had to learn to play it the week before the show. Now our neighbors say this, coincidentally.
We learned to play all sorts of things like the cat toy shaker and the microcorg. And we made lots of rookie mistakes, like thinking, oh, I have allergies. It'd be a great idea to take a bunch of Sudafed and drink a bunch of coffee and track vocals today.
We met a lot of interesting characters along the way. Like this guy. If his head were turned towards the camera, you would see what we saw, which is that he looks eerily like the guy from Trailer Park Boys. Now, don't laugh, he really lives in the trailer. But lucky for us, he happens to be really good at pedal steel and bass.
We tried all sorts of new techniques, like getting this paper-thin microphone and taping it to a wall and tracking harmonica in the hallway just to get the perfect echo. We also ran it through a guitar pedal through a bunch of loops and effects.
It's cool.
It's cool. The album art is actually a family crest, and it kind of pulls from all the symbols from characters into the song, in all the songs.
It's kind of like a big Americana sounding messed up family tree.
And the result is 10 songs, all informed by places, people, stories, some of them true, some of them false. So happy listening, y'all.
Pull one of these over here, and yeah, if you want to use the short one. Okay, quick question. Were you really looking just for a guitarist when you were looking at it? Because I noticed he's not playing the guitar. I mean, you are.
I like a man who's good with his hands.
Wait, incomplete sentences those are the only requirements? Okay, now, was that your studio there? Was that your shot of your place?
We recorded in Austin, so a lot of those photos were in the studio in Austin.
And now, do you write everything and he speaks complete sentences, or how does that work in collaboration?
You know, in the beginning I wrote most of the stuff, but as we've played more and more, it's more of a collaborative effort.
I got a microphone this time.
Yeah.
Do you sing at all, or are you like teller?
This is his first day of microphone privileges.
They're going away.
And now, are you working on another album?
We're writing a whole bunch. We're writing a song a week for some other project, and so it's gotta result in an album one of these days.
And where are you performing in the meantime? Where can people see you?
We're at 502 Bar this Thursday. We're at Smart Fair in March, doing some unofficial soundbite things. We're all over.
And now, do you have any last song you play that's inappropriate for children? I noticed you were working on something like that.
You gotta come to the late show for that one.
Nicolette and Jesse, give them a hand.